Hello, and welcome to the third video in our series for Chapter 1, Recall Prior Knowledge. And this section is about rounding numbers. There are times where you're going to want to round a number because you don't need an exact answer, but you need an answer, and rounding would make that process a lot easier. So in order to round numbers, you have to know to what place you are rounding. And it's really important to know your place value chart. There is a copy of that in this booklet that I'm doing, this iBook that I'm doing. So make sure that you look at that. It's on Gallery 1.1 in the third section, Rounding Numbers. So you always find that decimal point, and that kind of is the starting point for where the place value numbers are. So the first column to the left of the decimal point is the ones, and then the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, and so forth. On the right-hand side of the decimal place is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and so forth. So make sure that you're able to know your place value, because in order to round a number, you really do need to understand place value. So the way that we do this is if we're rounding, say, to the tenths place, we look at the number to the right of the tenths place, which in that case would be the hundredths place. If that number is 5 or above, then we round the tenths place up by one decimal, in that case, one number up. And if it were not 5 or above, in other words, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then we would keep that tenths place number the same, and everything else drops away to zeros. If we were on the whole number side, the process is the same, but let's say you were rounding to the hundredths place. You would first find your hundredths place, and then you look at the next number to the right again, and if that number is 5 or above, then the hundreds place rounds up by a number, or in that case 100, and if it is not a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you keep that number the same. And again, the rest of the numbers kind of drop out to zeros. You put zeros in for any of the numbers. So here's two quick examples that we're going to try. The first one is 3,491 ten-thousandths. And according to the directions, they're asking us to round to the tenths place this time. So again, I look at the next number. In this case, I look at the 9 because I'm rounding to the tenths place. So I look at the hundredths place. And since that is a 5 or above, I round that number up. And my new number will become 3,500 ten-thousandths. Notice that I have the same number of decimal points places in my rounded number as I had in my original. Now in our second example, I have 1,465, it looks like, or maybe that's 15, and I'm rounding to the tens column. Okay? So in this case, again, I look at the number to the right of that, and in this case, it would be a 5. Since that's 5, I round that number up as well. And my new number will be 1,420. 1,420. So those are two quick examples of how you accurately round numbers when either you're told to do it or you're trying to just get a good estimate of something, and rounding will make that easier. Thank you.